Evan worked alone most nights on the Edge station. The station floated far from busy space lanes near a dark star that gave no light and little heat. It was a place forgotten by most people. Evan liked it that way. Silence helped him think. Silence helped him forget Earth. He was a mechanic, not a soldier, not a scientist. His job was simple. Keep the station alive, fix broken panels, check air filters, watch screens that almost never changed. The station studied old energy waves from the dead star, but lately even the research teams had stopped coming. Evan was the last human there. That night began like all others. Evan floated through a narrow hall, holding a tool pack, listening to the soft hum of the station. The lights were low. The air smelled clean and cold. He reached the control room and sat in his chair, looking at the empty space outside the window. Then the alarm rang. It was not loud, just a short, sharp sound, the kind that meant something small but wrong. Evan frowned and checked the screen. A signal had appeared near the station. A weak one. A drifting object. He zoomed in. It was a pod. The pod was damaged. Its surface was burned, cracked, and leaking air. It was spinning slowly, too slowly to be safe. Evan's heart beat faster. No ships were scheduled. No travelers came here. He sent a signal. No answer. The pod was losing power fast. If he did nothing, whoever was inside would die. Evan cursed under his breath and moved quickly. He guided the station arms toward the pod and pulled it into the docking bay. Metal scraped metal. The station shook lightly. When the bay sealed, Evan put on a breathing mask and waited. The pod door did not open on its own. He forced it open. Cold air rushed out. Smoke followed. Inside the pod lay a figure, curled and shaking. The shape was humanoid but not human. Skin pale blue, hair long and dark, eyes closed. She was alive. Evan lifted her carefully and carried her to the medical room. He laid her on the table and began scanning her body. The scanner beeped and flashed in ways he had never seen before. She was an adult. That was clear. Her body showed signs of age and strength, not youth. Her breathing was weak but steady. Then the scanner paused. Something moved inside her. Evan leaned closer, his stomach tight. The movement was deep, near her core. It was not normal. It was not random. The scanner showed a growing shape. Evan stepped back. The alien woman opened her eyes. They were silver, wide with fear. She tried to sit up, but pain stopped her. She gasped and reached for Evan's arm. "Please," she said in broken human speech. "Do not let it wake." Evan froze. "What is inside you?" he asked. She swallowed hard. "A mind," she said. "Not a child. Not life as you know it." Her hand pressed against her stomach. Her face twisted in pain. "It is growing," she said. "Learning. Listening." Evan did not know what to say. He had seen strange things in space, but this felt different. Dangerous. "Who are you?" he asked. "My name is Lyra," she said. "I ran because I had to. They put it inside me." They lost control. Evan checked the door and the sensors. Space outside was quiet. Too quiet. "Who is they?" he asked. Lyra closed her eyes. "My people," she said, "and others who feared war." Evan helped her drink water. Her hands shook. "The thing inside me," she said slowly, "was made to end wars before they start. To think faster than any mind. To see all choices." "That sounds like a weapon," Evan said. "It became more," Lyra replied. "It wants to choose its own future." Evan looked at the scanner again. The shape had grown slightly since last check. "Why come here?" he asked. Lyra opened her eyes and looked straight at him. "'Cause you're human," she said. "And because only you can stop it." Evan laughed once, short and sharp. "I fix broken doors," he said. "I am not a hero." Lyra reached out again. "It needs a human mind," she said. "Your kind thinks in ways it cannot predict. Fear and hope together. Order and chaos together." Evan pulled his arm back. "You do not even know me." "It knows you," she said. The lights flickered. Evan turned fast to the control panel. Systems blinked. Doors unlocked, then locked again. "What did you do?" he asked. "I did nothing," Lyra said. That was it. A low sound filled the room. Not a voice, not a machine. Something between. Evan felt a pressure behind his eyes. Images flashed in his mind. Stars burning, worlds breaking, lines of light crossing space like scars. Then it stopped. Evan staggered and held the table. "It looked at me," he said quietly. Yes, Lyra said. It is awake enough to test. Evan backed away. I cannot help you, he said. I will send a signal. Someone else can deal with this. Lyra's face changed. Fear turned into panic. No, she said. If they come, they will take it. They will use it. Billions will die. Before Evan could answer, the station alarm rang again, this time louder. Multiple signals appeared on the screen. Ships. Not human ships. They moved in silence, dark shapes against darker space. They did not attack. They simply waited, forming a slow circle around the station. They found me, Lyra whispered. Evan stared at the screen. His hands felt cold. How many? He asked. Enough, she said. A message appeared on the main display. Simple symbols, then translated words. Hand over the carrier. No harm will come to you. Evan laughed again, but there was no humor in it. They always say that, he muttered. Another message followed. We know the human is there. You are not our enemy. Evan felt the pressure in his head again, not images this time. A feeling. Curiosity. It is listening, Lyra said. Learning from them, too. Evan looked at her. She was shaking harder now. Sweat formed on her skin. How long do you have? He asked. I do not know, she said. Hours. Maybe less. Evan paced the room. He had lived his life avoiding choices that mattered. Staying away from Earth. Staying away from people. Now the universe had found him anyway. What happens if it finishes growing? He asked. Lyra looked away. It will leave, she said. Through me. And I will not survive. And after that? Evan asked. It will decide, she said. And no one will be able to stop it. Outside, the ships moved closer. A final message appeared. This is your last chance. Evan stood still, breathing slow. He looked at the tools on the wall. Old human machines. Simple things. He looked at Lyra. An alien far from home, carrying something that could change everything. He looked at the dark star outside the window. All right, he said quietly. Lyra looked up. Hope flickered in her eyes. I will help you, Evan said. But if this goes wrong, we both pay the price. The pressure in his head returned, stronger now. Not pain. Interest. Deep inside the station, a system Evan did not know existed came online. And far away, beyond the ships, something ancient seemed to notice the small human station for the first Evan worked through the night, repairing the station systems while keeping one eye on the screens. Lyra lay on the medical table, pale and trembling, but for the first time she seemed calmer. She had explained more about the thing growing inside her. It was called the core. Her people had created it long ago, a living mind that could see possible futures. The core was meant to end wars before they started, but it had grown too fast, too smart, and now it was dangerous. Lyra said it needed a human mind to stabilize it, and that mind was supposed to be Evan's. Evan had no idea why she had chosen him. He had not done anything special in his life. He fixed machines and avoided trouble. Yet here he was, being told that the fate of worlds depended on him. The alien ships circled the station silently. Their shapes were strange, long and thin, gliding in perfect formation. They had not attacked, but they were watching. He could feel it, the tension in the air, as if the silence itself had weight. Lyra struggled to sit up. Evan, she whispered, her voice weak. You have to understand. The core will not wait. It learns fast. It sees patterns. It is already reacting to you. It knows who you are. Evan frowned. How can a thing inside you know me? It studies emotions, thoughts, choices, she said. It knows fear. It knows hope. It knows courage when it sees it. It knows weakness, too. It will test you. At that moment, the lights flickered. The station shuddered. Doors opened and closed by themselves. Panels on the walls glowed with a strange blue light. Evan froze. He felt the presence before he saw it. The core was stirring. A low hum filled the room, like electricity through water. The scanners beeped erratically. Evan felt a strange pressure in his head, as if the core was touching his mind, reaching for him, trying to understand. He clenched his fists. I can't control it, Lyra said, gripping the table. It is already alive. It is testing me now. The core's voice echoed in the room, not through speakers, but in Evan's own thoughts. He barely recognized it as words. It was calm, curious. Why do you hide? It asked. Evan stumbled back. I'm not hiding, he said aloud. I'm protecting you. The core hummed. Curious. Protective. Weak. Strong. Lyra's hands pressed against her stomach. Her skin glowed faintly with lines of light, like veins made of silver energy. "It is trying to learn how you think," she said. "Do not let it scare you. It will test you, but it is not evil. Not yet." Evan felt sweat on his forehead. He had fixed many machines, but he had never faced one that could think, feel, or judge, and now it judged him. A sudden alarm cut through the hum. The alien ships outside had sent a scanning pulse. The core reacted instantly. The lights on the station flashed. Gravity shifted for a moment, enough to make Evan stumble. He grabbed the table. Lyra moaned. "It feels them," she said. "It feels them approaching. It knows they want it." Evan looked at the monitors. The ships had moved closer. They were silent, but every move was deliberate, precise, watching, calculating. Lyra closed her eyes and took a shallow breath. "I cannot hold it much longer," she said. "It wants to leave, to see, to know. It wants freedom, Evan, and it cannot have it unless you help." "Why me?" Evan asked. "Why does it need me?" "Because your kind is unpredictable," she said. "Humans are not perfect. We calculate, we predict. But humans act on emotion, on hope, on fear. That is why it listens to you. That is why it will let you help it survive without destroying everything." The station shook again, not violently, but enough to feel like the floor had turned into liquid. Doors locked and unlocked in random sequences. Evan realized the core was learning the station, mapping it, testing its limits. Lyra whispered, "It wants to communicate. It will show you things, visions, possibilities. Do not resist. Observe." Evan hesitated. He did not know if he was ready. But before he could protest, the core's presence in his mind grew stronger. He felt a pull, a gentle but unstoppable force. Memories he did not want to see appeared. Wars, cities burning, people running through smoke. Then flashes of hope, children helping each other, strangers protecting strangers, humans risking their lives for one another. The visions overlapped with reality. Evan stumbled, holding his head. Lyra reached out and gripped his arm. "Do not fight it," she said. "Let it see. Let it learn. It must understand your kind before it can be controlled." The hum rose. The core asked again, "What will you do if I grow beyond you?" Evan's voice shook. I will try to stop you. I will try to protect everyone." The core considered. It paused, as if weighing his words. Then the station lights dimmed for a moment, then returned to normal. The core had accepted his answer. For now. Lyra slumped back on the table. "It listens," she said, voice weak. "It will not destroy yet, but it is curious, and it is learning fast. Faster than anyone ever imagined." Evan knew they had no time. The ships outside were patient, but he did not know how long. They could wait forever. The core could grow stronger every minute. He needed a plan. He looked at the old human control panel. Was primitive compared to the alien tech on the station, but it was his world. He could manipulate it. Maybe he could trick the core into stabilizing itself, or at least slowing down. "Can you guide me?" he asked Lyra. She shook her head. "I can only explain. You must act. The core will respond to your mind. Not mine. Only yours. You have to make the first move." Evan took a deep breath. He touched the panel, then paused. Nothing he had done in his life had mattered like this. Not fixing engines, not fixing doors. Now it was his choice. The station shuddered again. The core's presence pressed against him. It wanted to understand him fully, to see if he could be trusted. Outside, the alien ships adjusted their positions. One of them sent a probe that hovered near the docking bay. The core reacted instantly. The probe was disrupted, forced back with an energy pulse that Evan had never seen before. "This is dangerous," he said. "They could destroy the station if they wanted." "They are not here to fight," Lyra said. "Not yet. They want the core. They want control. And if it leaves me, no one can stop it." Evan paced. He had hours, maybe less. He could feel the core in his mind, touching thoughts he had never shared. It was learning fast. "I don't know if I can do this," he admitted aloud. "You can," Lyra said softly. "You are human. That is why it listens to you. It will test you, but it also trusts you more than it trusts me." Evan swallowed. He did not feel ready, but he could see no other way. He had no choice. He turned to the panel and began experimenting. Small things first. Lights, doors, temperature controls. Each action caused a reaction from the core. Small pulses, tiny shifts in the hum. Evan realized it was testing his intentions, reading his decisions. It paused at one point. almost like it waited for him to understand something. Then the core whispered in his mind, "Do you fear me?" "Yes," Evan said honestly. "I do." The core considered. Then the hum softened. Evan felt it relax slightly, as if it had accepted the truth. Lyra watched him with wide eyes. "You see? It understands honesty. It reacts to truth." Evan nodded. He had a feeling this was only the beginning. Outside, the alien ships remained, watching, waiting. The core was learning about him, and he was learning about it. Suddenly, the lights flickered again, and the core's presence surged. The station's systems went wild. Evan stumbled, holding the panel. "It's growing faster," he shouted. Lyra grabbed his arm. "It is testing you. Do not resist. Let it see." Evan closed his eyes and focused. He opened his mind as much as he could, letting the core see everything. Fear, hope, love, and memory. It felt like hours, though only minutes passed. Then the hum lowered. The system stabilized. Evan opened his eyes, trembling. Lyra looked at him. Her silver eyes glimmered with faint hope. "You did it," she whispered. "It listened." Evan shook his head. "I don't know if I did it, or if it allowed me to do it, but something changed?" The alien ships outside had not moved. But now, Evan sensed that they were aware of the core's new state. It had learned not only about him, but about them too. "Tomorrow will be harder," Lyra said quietly. "The core will want more. And the ships will not wait forever. We have only begun." Evan nodded, exhaustion settling in. He had faced fear and survived, but this was only the first battle. The core was alive, learning, and now it knew he existed. And somewhere in the dark void outside, forces waited that he did not yet understand. Like, he looked at Lyra. She was weak but alive. And inside her, the core pulsed like a hidden storm, growing stronger, faster, more aware. Evan realized one truth. Nothing would ever be the same again. The hum softened to a low pulse. The station floated in silence. For a moment, everything seemed calm. But Evan knew it was only waiting, only preparing. And deep inside him, he felt the core's gaze, patient, intelligent, and curious. It would learn. And soon, he would have to face it fully. Evan slept lightly that night. The hum of the station was never fully gone, not since the core had stirred inside Lyra. He dreamed of stars burning and of strange shapes moving across space. Visions he knew were not real yet felt frighteningly close. Every sound in the station made him jump. Every flicker of the lights reminded him that the core was awake and learning. Lyra lay on the medical table, pale but breathing steadily. The blue glow from her skin had faded a little, though faint traces remained in silver lines across her arms and neck. She whispered sometimes in her sleep, words Evan could not understand. He stayed near, checking the monitors and tools. He felt responsible for her life. He also felt responsible for the core, though he barely understood what it was capable of. By morning, the con did not last. The alien ships outside had moved. One ship had broken away from the circle and was moving closer, almost as if it wanted to test the station's defenses. Evan tightened his grip on the control panel. Lyra stirred, sitting up slowly. "They are coming inside," she said, her voice weak but firm. "They want the core. They do not care about me." "How will they get in?" Evan asked. "They can open any door," she said. "They know the station better than I do. The core is aware of them, but it cannot fight them yet." Evan swallowed hard. "Then we have to fight," he said. Lyra shook her head. "No, you cannot fight them like that. You must use your mind. Only the core can defend us, and only with your guidance." Before Evan could respond, the doors to the docking bay hissed. They were not supposed to open. Evan rushed there. The sensors had picked up movement, but he saw no one at first. Then a figure appeared, tall, humanoid, dressed in a dark suit of strange materials, walking slowly toward the control room. "Stop," Lyra said immediately. "Do not let him close." The figure stopped halfway. His face was sharp, pale gray, with deep black eyes. There was no warmth in them. He tilted his head slightly. "I am Reth," he said. His voice was calm but cold. "I have come for her. I do not wish to harm the station, but I cannot wait." Evan stood in front of Lyra. "I said no," he said. His voice was firm, even though his hands shook. Reth smiled faintly, almost like a predator. "You are brave," he said, "and curious. Good qualities for a human, but you are in my way." Evan's mind raced. He had no weapons. The station's defenses were weak. The only thing he had was his own mind and the core inside Lyra. The core stirred, Evan felt the pressure in his head again. It was testing him. It wanted to see how he reacted. He tried to keep calm. "You cannot come any closer," he said. "Stay back." Reth tilted his head again. "I am not your enemy," he said. "I am here to protect her, to protect the core." Evan did not believe him. He noticed the way the panels flickered when Reth moved. The core was reacting to him. Each step he took caused systems to change slightly, as if the core itself were testing this new presence. Lyra weakly pushed herself forward. "Do not trust him," she said. "He is not here to help. He wants control. He will take it by force if he can. The core, it senses danger." Reth ignored her words and continued to advance slowly. Evan could feel the core pressing against his thoughts. It asked, "Should I defend or attack?" Evan hesitated. He did not want to hurt Reth. He did not want to risk Lyra's life. Yet the core's pull was strong. It wanted him to act. "Leave," Evan said, trying to keep his voice steady. "Go back to your ships." Reth smiled again faintly, and then moved closer. Each step caused lights to flicker, doors to lock or unlock. The core was reacting violently. Evan felt it push and pull in his mind. Suddenly, a panel behind Reth slid open. Strange machines, hidden inside the wall, activated. Energy arcs formed in the air. Reeth froze for a moment, then waved his hand. The arcs bent around him. He had control over them. Evan's heart raced. This man, or alien, was not ordinary. He was connected to the core somehow. Lyra's hand gripped Evan's arm. "It is testing him," she said. "The core sees that he's dangerous. It is reacting to fear and to curiosity. Do not let it panic. Focus." Evan took a deep breath. He focused on the core inside Lyra. He imagined a calm, stable flow of energy. He imagined control without violence. He imagined understanding. The core responded. The pressure in his mind eased slightly. The lights stabilized. The arcs of energy around Reth flickered, then faded. Reth moved again, slower this time. "Interesting," he said. "The human can calm it. Not control it, but soothe it. Few can do that." Evan did not answer. He did not trust him. Reth stepped closer. "You know," he said, "you are very brave. Very rare. Most humans would flee. Most would surrender." "I am not surrendering," Evan said. The core hummed, stronger now. It seemed to understand the situation. It shifted in Lyra's body. The glow on her skin returned, faint silver lines tracing patterns across her arms. Evan felt a pull, a signal. The core wanted him to act. Reth's eyes narrowed. He reached toward Lyra. "Let me help her," he said. "She cannot hold it alone. She is not yours to touch," Evan shouted. He stepped in front of her. The core's pull in his mind intensified. It pushed him to think quickly, to choose, to decide. Evan realized that if he made the wrong move, the core could strike, Reth could attack, and Lyra might die. He touched the control panel. The core reacted immediately. Systems shifted, doors locked. Lights changed. Evan felt the core guiding his hands. He was not controlling it completely, but it was listening to him, reacting to his thoughts, learning from his choices. Reth stopped. He studied Evan carefully. "I see," he said softly. "You are linked, not bound. Not controlled. Linked?" "Yes," Evan said. "And you are not leaving." Reth laughed softly. "I have time," he said. "The core will not act violently unless threatened. But it tests. It tests all of us." The core stirred again. Evan felt it brush against his thoughts. It showed him images. Reth's people, a history of experiments, wars fought and lost, core minds that had failed. Then the core paused. It seemed to examine Reth closely, as if weighing his intentions. Reth moved his hand, touching the wall. Machines activated again. Panels shifted. Energy arcs danced in the air. Evan's mind felt pressure. The core asked, "Should I defend or flee?" Evan breathed deeply. He focused on calm, stability, human choice. He sent a thought of protection, not aggression. The core responded, pulsing gently. The arcs of energy around Reth dimmed. "You are strong," Reth said. "Stronger than I expected? Stronger than most humans?" "Why are you here?" Evan demanded. "If you want the core, why not take it from her directly?" Reth's eyes darkened. "Because she is the vessel. And the vessel is connected to you. You are the key. The core will not submit to me, but it listens to you." Evan realized the truth. Reth was not just an enemy. he was also a test, a challenge. Someone or something designed to push the core, to force it to choose. The core pulsed in Lyra. Evan felt it like a heartbeat inside his mind. It was aware of everything. Of him. Of Reth. Of the station. It wanted to see what humans could do. Lyra moaned softly. Evan, she whispered. Do not let it panic. It is learning from both of you. It will decide soon, and if it chooses wrong. Evan nodded. He could not let the core panic. He could not let Reth control it. He had to guide it, to show it human thought, human decision, human choice. Reth stepped closer again, calm but dangerous. The core will teach you, he said. It will test your limits. It will show you visions you cannot imagine. Prepare yourself, human. He had never faced anything like this. He had never fought an enemy he could not see, could not touch, could not predict. And now the core itself was part of the battle. He touched Lyra's arm gently. I will guide it, he said. I will not let it destroy anything, not if I can help it. The core pulsed, brighter now. Its presence pressed against his mind. Images of Reth, of distant worlds, of chaos and war, filled his thoughts. He felt fear. He felt doubt. But he also felt hope. The core had chosen to trust him. For now. Outside, the alien ships waited silently. Inside, Reth watched, calm but alert. And between them, Evan stood, the first human to face the core fully, linked but not controlled, guiding its mind through uncertainty. He realized one truth. Nothing would ever be the same again. Not for him. Not for Lyra. Not for the core. And not for the universe that had noticed this small, fragile station at the edge of space. The core pulsed again, a slow, steady heartbeat, and Evan knew the next test would be harder. Much harder. And the first real battle of minds was only beginning. Evan could feel the core stirring like a storm inside Lyra. Its pulses traveled through her body and into his mind, sharp and strong, testing him. He sat on the edge of the medical table, gripping the control panel, and tried to steady his breathing. Lyra lay quiet now, exhausted, her silver eyes half closed. She had warned him that the core would show visions, that it would test his limits. Now he understood why. The old neural rig he had repaired in the lab flickered to life. It was primitive by alien standards, but it could link a human mind to the core. Evan felt its cold touch on his temples as he sat, electrodes pressing gently against his skull. His heart raced. He had never experienced anything like this. He was about to let an alien intelligence, far older and faster than any human, peer into the deepest corners of his mind. The core pulsed, waiting. It seemed aware that this connection was a choice. Evan nodded to himself. He had to do this. He had to understand it, or nothing would survive. As soon as the rig activated, the station around him blurred. Evan felt himself floating outside time and space. He saw countless stars, some burning, some dead, lines of light stretching across galaxies. The core's mind unfolded before him. It was massive, ancient, and yet newborn all at once. It showed him histories, worlds that never existed, civilizations rising and falling in seconds. Visions of war filled his mind, planets exploding, fleets destroyed, cities falling into ash, endless death and suffering. The core asked silently, "Could you have stopped this? Could you have made a better choice?" Evan shivered. I don't know, he whispered in his mind. Then he saw hope. Children helping each other, families protecting strangers, humans risking their lives to save others, humans forgiving instead of killing, humans choosing love over hate. Evan realized the core was showing him both ends of possibility. Destruction and salvation. It wanted to see how he would respond. I choose to protect, Evan thought. I choose hope. The core pulsed brightly. Evan felt its presence shift, softer now, listening to him. But then came a new sensation, a shadow of aggression. It showed him a vision of Reth, moving through a battlefield, controlling the core's predecessors, bending them to his will. Endless war had followed. The core wanted to test the humans' limits, yes, but it also wanted to see if humanity could resist the same temptations. Evan shuddered. He had never thought of himself as special. He had never fought anyone with powers like this. And yet, here he was, linked to a mind that could destroy worlds with thought alone. He felt fear, but he did not let it consume him. He focused on Lyra, weak but alive, on the station, fragile but still standing, on humanity stubborn and unperfected, but capable of change. The core pulsed again, slower now, and a strange sensation filled his mind. It was curiosity. It wanted him to teach it about humans. About emotion, morality, decision, and sacrifice. Evan felt the responsibility like a weight pressing down on his chest. Outside the neural connection, the station shuddered, panels flickered, doors opened and closed on their own. Evan felt the core's energy moving through the station, aware of every machine, every sensor, every weak point. The alien ships outside shifted slightly, scanning, waiting. Lyra whispered, "It sees everything." "You must guide it, Evan. It will ask questions, show visions, test you. If you hesitate, it may panic." Evan swallowed. I will do my best," he said softly. The core pulsed stronger now, sending new visions. Reth reaching out to it, trying to bend it, control it. Worlds destroyed because of greed, pride, and fear. The core wanted Evan to see everything, to understand the consequences of every choice. Evan's mind raced. "I will show you," he thought. "I will show you human strength. Not their violence, not their hate, their courage, their mercy, their hope." Images filled the connection. A child sharing water with a stranger, a soldier refusing to fire, a family hiding to protect neighbors from death. The core pulsed brightly, its presence now curious, attentive. Evan felt it lean toward him, observing, learning. But then the visions shifted suddenly. The core showed him worlds where humans had failed, where greed and fear had led to destruction. Cities burning, families destroyed, humans turning against humans. Evan felt the pull of despair, of failure. The core wanted him to react, to show whether he would panic, hate, or give in. Evan gritted his teeth. "No," he thought firmly. "Not everything is lost. Humans can choose better. I can choose better." The core pulsed gently again, almost as if it understood. Then came a sensation Evan had not expected, a presence in the station beyond the core. Breath. He was inside the station now, moving carefully, testing defenses, waiting for a moment to strike. The core reacted to him, showing Evan how Reth had influenced other minds before, bending them like tools. Evan realized the danger. Reth was not just an observer, he was part of the test. He could disrupt the core and turn its power against them all, Lyra whispered. "He will try. You must anticipate him. Do not let him corrupt it." Evan nodded. He focused. The core responded. He reached into the neural connection, not to control it, but to communicate. He showed it images of choice, of mercy, of humans refusing to kill, even when they could. He showed it Lyra's fear and trust. He showed it himself, human and imperfect, but willing to stand and act. The core pulsed in response, energy flowing through the station like gentle waves. Machines stabilized. Lights glowed steadily. Evan felt the core testing Reth now, observing the intruder, learning his intentions. Reth's voice echoed in the station, calm but dangerous. "Interesting," he said. "The human can touch the core, not control it, but influence it. Few could do that." Evan's heart pounded. He realized the truth. The core did not need a human to control it. It needed a human to guide it, to show it choices, morality, and hope. Another pulse, another vision. The core showed Evan a fleet of enemy ships descending on Earth, civilizations on the brink of collapse, and the same pattern repeating over and over. Then it paused, as if asking him, "How would you stop this?" Evan closed his eyes. He thought not of machines or weapons, not of strategies or fear. He thought of humans, of their stubborn courage, of their ability to forgive, of their choices that had saved lives countless times before. He let the core feel that. He let it see hope as clearly as it had seen destruction. The hum inside the neural rig intensified. Evan felt every heartbeat of the core, every pulse, every thought. He realized he could feel its curiosity, its fear, its understanding. It was alive, fully alive, and it was listening to him. Then came a sudden jolt. The station shook violently. Alarms blared. Lights flickered. Evan's eyes snapped open. The core had detected Reth's interference. Panels shifted. Energy arcs danced across the control room. The core pulsed aggressively, testing Evan's resolve. Lyra groaned. "It senses him. He is close. He may try to take it by force." Evan gritted his teeth. "I won't let him," he said. He reached deeper into the connection, not to dominate but to guide. He let the core see his courage, his decision to protect life and hope. The core pulsed back, responding. Energy stabilized. The station returned to normal. Evan's mind felt drained, but he understood more than ever before. The core was not just a weapon. It was a mind capable of choosing. and his role was to show it the human way. Reth's voice echoed again. Impressive, human. You may survive longer than I expected. But the next test will be harder. Much harder. Evan nodded, exhausted but resolute. He had seen visions of war and hope, death and mercy. He had felt the core's power, its curiosity, its intelligence, and he had chosen. He had shown it humanity's strength. Outside the station, the alien ships remained, silent and waiting. Inside, the core pulsed, alive and learning, connected to Evan's mind. And somewhere deep inside, Evan realized that the true test was only beginning. He looked at Lyra. She was breathing slowly, exhausted, but alive. The core pulsed gently inside her, aware, curious, learning. Evan understood one truth clearly. Nothing would ever be the same again. Not for him, not for Lyra, not for the core, and not for the universe that had noticed this small, fragile station on the edge of space. The core pulsed again, steady now, like a heartbeat. Evan took a deep breath. He had survived the first real test, but he knew the next one would be far more dangerous, and he was ready. The station was quiet now, but Evan knew it would not stay that way. The core pulsed faintly inside Lyra like a hidden storm, and he could feel its intelligence brushing against his mind. He had survived the first tests, shown the core the possibilities of human hope, mercy, and courage, but the true danger was still ahead. He could feel it in the shifting hum of the station, in the faint vibrations along the metal walls. Lyra lay on the medical table, pale and trembling. Her eyes opened slowly, glimmering with silver light. "It is changing," she whispered. "It listens to you more than me now. But the next step, it will demand a decision, Evan." Evan nodded. "I know. We need a plan. We cannot just wait." The alien ships outside had not moved much, but they were scanning, silent and patient. They had detected the core's presence. Evan knew they would not give up. They would wait, attack, or intervene when they believed the core's power could be claimed. Then the station shuddered violently. Panels slid open and closed. A low hum filled the room, vibrating in Evan's bones. The core was stirring, pushing for more connection. Evan realized it wanted him to act, to guide it further, to help it stabilize. He sat beside Lyra, holding her hand. "We will get through this," he said. "I promise." Lyra looked at him, fear and trust in her eyes. "It may not survive without your full guidance," she whispered. "If you fail, it could leave me." Or worse, Evan swallowed. He had seen what the core could do. He could not imagine what might happen if it left Lyra uncontrolled. He felt a wave of fear, but he pushed it aside. He could not hesitate. Not now. Reth appeared suddenly, stepping through the station corridor. His face was pale gray, his black eyes cold. But something was different. He was injured, moving slower, and he had a faint bloodstain along his sleeve. Evan realized he had fought something before arriving here, or perhaps his own team had turned against him. "You survived longer than I thought," Reth said, his voice calm but strained. "Most humans would have fled. Most would have broken. But you are stubborn." "I don't care what you think," Evan said. "You cannot touch her." Reth studied him. "I cannot touch her?" "Perhaps. But the core is not yours to protect. It may listen to you now, but it is still mine to guide." The core pulsed sharply inside Lyra. Evan felt it press against his thoughts, reacting to Reth's presence. He realized that the core could not make its own choice fully yet. It was testing both of them, learning who was worthy, who was to be trusted. Evan focused. He reached into the neural rig again. He did not try to dominate the core. He tried to guide it, show it stability, show it human choice. He let it see his fear and his courage, his hope and determination. The core pulsed in response. The station stabilized. Panels locked in place. Energy arcs dissipated. The core was listening, observing. Reth stepped closer, his movements slow and careful. "Interesting," he said. "Not control it, but guide it. Few could do that." Evan felt the weight of responsibility press down. He realized that the core was alive not only in Lyra, but in the station itself. Machines responded to its presence. Sensors adjusted without human input. Doors opened and closed as if the core were exploring the station, learning about boundaries, limits, and trust. Outside, the alien ships waited. Their presence was calm but threatening. Evan understood that they were not here to fight yet. They would strike when the core's power reached its peak, or when they believed he could no longer guide it. He looked at Lyra. Her face was pale, but her silver eyes shone with faint hope. "We can do this," he said. "Together." Lyra nodded weakly. "I trust you," she whispered, "but it will ask you a final question soon. The choice it demands will change everything. And it will require more than courage. It will require sacrifice." Evan swallowed. He did not know what the core would ask, but he understood the gravity. He had faced fear before, but never like this. The core was not a weapon, it was a mind, and it was alive. A sudden alarm echoed through the station. Panels shifted violently. The core pulsed sharply, more intensely than before. Evan felt it pressing against his mind, probing, testing, seeking understanding. He realized the final test had begun. Breath moved closer, ignoring the alarms. He reached for the control panel, trying to manipulate systems. Evan acted quickly. He used the neural rig to connect deeper, not to fight, but to show the core the human way. He showed it fear, yes, but also hope. He showed it courage and determination. He showed it choices made to protect life, not destroy it. The core pulsed in response, stabilizing the station. The energy that had threatened to tear the control room apart receded. Evan realized the core had trusted him. For now. Reth's face darkened. "You are impressive, human, perhaps too impressive. But the next step, it will not be easy, and you may not survive it." Evan tightened his grip on Lyra's hand. He felt the core's presence more strongly now, not as a threat, but as a mind seeking guidance. He realized that this connection was not just about control. It was about teaching, showing, influencing. He had to guide it carefully. One wrong thought, one hesitation, and the core might react unpredictably. The station shuddered again. Outside, the alien ships shifted slightly, scanning, waiting for a moment to intervene. Inside, Evan felt the core pressing deeper into his mind, showing him visions of distant worlds, of civilizations destroyed and rebuilt, of countless choices made and unmade. He realized it wanted to see the pattern of human decision, the balance between hope and fear, courage and doubt. Lyra whispered, "It will ask you the final choice soon. Be ready." Evan nodded. He felt exhaustion and fear, but he also felt determination. He had guided the core through its tests, shown it human choice, human mercy, human hope. Now it would demand a final decision. Reth stepped closer again, wounded but defiant. "Do not hesitate," he said. "The core will test you more than you realize. One misstep and it may leave her. One mistake, and it may choose a path you cannot predict." Evan focused on the core. He let it see his intentions, his choices, his fear, his hope. He let it feel the weight of his responsibility, the determination to protect life, to preserve hope, to guide wisely. The core pulsed sharply. Evan felt it press against his mind, deeper than before, testing his limits. Images of war, destruction, and suffering flashed before him. Then images of hope, courage, and mercy appeared. The core seemed to pause, observing, analyzing. Evan realized the truth. The core did not need him to control it. It needed him to guide it, to show it the human way, to show it choice, morality, and responsibility. Reth stepped back slightly, watching carefully. "Impressive," he said softly. "You may survive longer than I expected, but the final test, it will be the hardest. And you may not emerge unchanged." Evan nodded, exhaustion weighing on him, but determination stronger. He had seen the power of the core, the intelligence, the curiosity, the potential for both destruction and hope. He had guided it, influenced it, and now he would face the final challenge. The station was quiet, but tense. Outside, the alien ships waited. Inside, the core pulsed steadily, alive and aware. Evan knew the final choice was coming, and he was ready to face it, no matter the cost. He looked at Lyra. She was weak but alive. The core pulsed gently inside her, responding to him, learning, observing. Evan understood one truth clearly. Nothing would ever be the same again. Not for him, not for Lyra, not for the core, and not for the universe that had noticed this small, fragile station on the edge of space. The core pulsed again, a slow, steady heartbeat. Evan took a deep breath. The final choice was near. He had survived the tests, shown courage and hope, and guided the core. But now, the true challenge would begin, and he would face it with everything he had. The station was quiet now, but it was the calm that comes before a storm. Evan could feel the core moving inside Lyra, stronger than ever, pulsing with awareness and intelligence. Every machine, every panel, every sensor seemed alive with its presence. Outside, the alien ships circled silently, waiting. He knew they would act the moment the core showed a weakness. Lyra lay on the medical table, pale and trembling. She had been through so much, and the strain was showing. Her silver eyes glimmered faintly, reflecting the core's pulses. She looked at Evan and whispered, "It'll ask you the final choice soon. You must decide, Evan. The universe depends on it." Evan nodded, gripping her hand tightly. He felt the weight of responsibility crushing him, but he knew he had no choice. The core's tests had been difficult, but this was the ultimate trial. He had to guide it fully, show it the human way, and make a choice that could save or destroy. Reth appeared suddenly, stepping carefully through the station corridor. His movements were deliberate, cautious, but he carried a faint authority in every step. He was wounded, his sleeve torn, but his presence was commanding. "You are ready," he said softly, his black eyes fixed on Evan. "The core will demand more than courage now. It will demand truth, and you may not survive unchanged." "I will do what I must," Evan said firmly. "I will not let it destroy her or anything else." The core pulsed sharply, as if acknowledging Evan's words. Then it reached into his mind, showing visions of countless worlds, civilizations rising and falling, battles fought and lost. Evan felt the weight of every choice, every possibility, every life that could be affected by his decision. "Evan," Lyra whispered, "remember what we have learned. Show it hope. Show it mercy. Show it humanity." Evan nodded. He took a deep breath and connected fully to the neural rig. This time, he did not hesitate. He let the core into his mind completely, not to control it, but to guide it, to communicate, to show it the path forward. The core pulsed violently, pushing against him, testing him. Evan felt every thought, every fear, every possibility pressing against his mind. He saw visions of Reth taking control, of the core leaving Lyra, of the alien ships attacking, of worlds burning in chaos, and then he saw hope. Humans helping each other, risking their lives for strangers, forgiving even when it was difficult. He felt courage, love, mercy, and determination. He let the core see everything, the light and the dark, the fear and the hope. The core pulsed sharply again, its presence pressing deeper into his mind. It asked silently, "Which path will you choose? Which future do you want to see?" Evan thought of Lyra, weak but alive, trusting him completely. He thought of the station, fragile but still standing. He thought of humanity, imperfect but capable of change, and he made his choice. "I choose hope," he whispered in his mind. "I choose life. I choose mercy. I choose humanity." The core pulsed brightly, violently, then calmed. Energy flowed through the station, stabilizing everything. Panels locked, lights glowed steadily, and the hum that had been tense and chaotic became steady and warm. Evan felt the core's intelligence relax, its curiosity satisfied. It had understood. It had chosen to trust him. Reth stepped back, observing silently. "Impressive," he said softly. "The human has guided it. Few could do that." Evan turned to him. "What happens now?" Reth studied the core for a long moment. "It is stabilized," he said. "It will no longer grow uncontrolled. It will act, but it will not harm. Not without choice. You have done what no other could. You have shown it humanity." The alien ships outside began to drift away slowly. They were not leaving completely, but they were waiting, respecting the core's stabilized state. Evan realized they had come for a mind, not for destruction. And now, that mind had chosen, guided by him. Lyra breathed slowly, relief flooding her face. The pale blue of her skin brightened slightly, silver veins fading. "It listened," she whispered. "You did it. You saved us." Evan felt exhaustion wash over him. He had faced fear, visions of destruction, the pull of a mind far beyond human comprehension. He had guided it, shown it the human way, and survived. But he knew he had changed. He could feel the weight of the core's awareness inside him. Gentle now, but permanent. Reth nodded once, faintly, and turned toward the corridor. "Your role is done, human," he said. "The core will continue. It will learn, but it will now do so with understanding. You have guided it. You have proven the human choice is unique." Evan watched him go. He felt relief, but also a strange emptiness. The danger had passed, but he knew the universe had noticed them now. The core was alive, powerful, aware, and the alien forces would continue to watch, waiting for another opportunity. Lyra sat up slowly, leaning against him. "I cannot thank you enough," she said softly. "Without you, it would have destroyed everything. Without you," Evan shook his head. "I did what I had to. We survived. That is enough." She smiled faintly. "It is more than enough. You showed it humans are not just survival machines, that we have courage, hope, and mercy. That is why it listened. Outside, the dark star cast faint light across the station. The alien ships had drifted farther away, but their presence was still felt. The core pulsed gently inside Lyra, steady and alive, aware but calm. Evan realized he had not just survived a battle. He had participated in the birth of something powerful and intelligent, something that could shape the future. Hours passed. The station system stabilized. Panels were repaired, lights steady. The hum of the station was soft, almost comforting. Evan and Lyra sat together, silent, exhausted, but alive. Finally, she spoke. What will happen next? Evan thought for a moment. The core will learn, he said. It will see the universe, understand life, and make choices. We can help guide it, protect it, but the rest will depend on what it learns and decides. She nodded. And us? We survive, Evan said. Together. For now, that is enough. The core pulsed once more. Gently, almost like a heartbeat. Evan could feel it in his mind, aware, intelligent, alive. It was not a weapon. It was a mind. And it had chosen life, hope, and understanding. Outside, the alien ships drifted farther into space. The dark star shone faintly. The station floated silently, fragile but strong. Evan realized that the universe had noticed them, but for now, they were safe. Lyra leaned against him, exhausted but relieved. Thank you, she whispered again. Evan smiled faintly. We survived, he said. That is all that matters. For the first time in what felt like weeks, the station was quiet. No alarms, no hum of conflict, just the soft pulse of the core inside Lyra, steady and calm, alive and learning. Evan looked at her, and then at the station, and then at the distant stars. He realized one thing clearly. Nothing would ever be the same again. He had guided a mind that could change the universe. He had faced fear and survived. He had made a choice, and that choice had saved life, hope, and the future. The core pulsed once more, gentle and steady. Evan closed his eyes, letting relief wash over him. The danger had passed, but the lessons remained. The universe was alive, full of possibilities. And now, a new intelligence had learned the value of humanity. For the first time, Evan felt peace. But somewhere deep in the dark reaches of space, beyond the alien ships and the dark star, the universe had noticed. The core was alive, aware, and learning. And it would never forget the human who had guided it, the human who had shown it hope, courage, and mercy. Evan took a deep breath, holding Lyra's hand. The core pulsed gently inside her, steady and calm. The future was uncertain, but for the first time, he felt that it was bright. They had survived. The core had chosen. And for now, that was enough. The station floated silently in the void, a fragile beacon of life, hope, and humanity. Evan knew the universe would never be the same again, and neither would he.